YouTube, this is Trainboy54, and what you're watching now is a Spot the Difference special. Here on the pool table, we've got two versions of Original Thomas, Hank, Winston, Harold the Helicopter, and Diesel. So without further ado, even though this is the first Spot the Difference special I have planned, let's go ahead and look at the differences with these 5 characters. Starting with the original Thomas. From the Thomas and Friends movie, The Adventure Begins. Okay, so here I've got my custom original Thomas and the original Trackmaster Revolution version of Original Thomas. Now my custom original Thomas, here's Thomas's normal happy face. His paintwork is, well, it's meant to be teal green, but it's a normal shade of green with white lining. Thomas's green wheels are green. You had to see the blue from this side. There's Thomas's LBSC and original number 70. There's his rear headlamp. Of course, I had to paint this Trackmaster Thomas this shade of green and use the white paint for the white detailing, the number 70, and the letters LBSC. These were printed out from MS Paint. Let me bring out alongside this Trackmaster Thomas, and oh, you can see the differences right now, but I didn't realize that by brought it alongside this Thomas face on my custom original Thomas, it's fading into this color. I'm not sure if you can see it, but yeah, it's probably fading out of this normal shade of color of Thomas's faceplate. Oh well, at least this original Thomas looks good. Don't you think so? Anyway, now to the real original Trackmaster Revolution version of Original Thomas. Of course, this came with these 2 trucks. Oh, sorry. These 2 trucks. One is a red truck with working tools on the sides. It's carrying coal. The other one, I'm not sure what kind of truck this is, but looks like well, it's got crates carrying it. Now to this Original Thomas, the real Trackmaster Revolution version of Original Thomas. Before it came out like this, it never had his running board, his lamp irons, his lamp, and his buffers fully painted. So I painted the buffers, the lamp irons, the lamp, and the running board. And I even painted, like, here, and here on Thomas's boiler with white paint. Yes, his number 70, his LBSC, they're real. His cap sticker windows are real. And his rear buffers are painted black. I did the rear at the back myself. White paint for the back lining and the rear headlight on MS Paint, just to put on the back of this real original Trackmaster Revolution version of Original Thomas. But seeing the difference between those two, what are your thoughts? Which of these 2 versions of the original Thomas would you prefer? My custom original Thomas, or the Trackmaster Revolution version of Original Thomas? Well, the Trackmaster Original Thomas takes 2 AAA batteries to make it run. My custom Original Thomas has 1 AA battery still works. Yes, it still works. Let's have a bit of a race and see which of these two original Thomases is better. Okay, there's my custom original Thomas on this track, and the real Trackmaster Revolution version of original Thomas on the redesigned Trackmaster track. He's got his cars coupled up, but my custom Trackmaster Thomas doesn't have any rolling stock. We'll see how light he will go. My Trackmaster Thomas is the judge for this one. On your mark, get set, go! And coming around the first two curves, the original Thomas, the Trackmaster Revolution Thomas, and custom original Thomas are side by side. Oh, passing the next two curves, the Trackmaster Revolution version of original Thomas is taking the lead. It looks like the Trackmaster Revolution version of the original Thomas is much faster than my custom original Thomas after all. I don't think my custom original Thomas will have any luck left to catch up with the Trackmaster Revolution version of original Thomas. And crossing the finish line, the Trackmaster original Thomas wins. Trackmaster Revolution version of original Thomas, that is. Better luck next time, custom original Thomas. Well, that was only one engine out of the 5 to the Spot the Difference special. 4 more to go. Let me know what your thoughts are on which of these two original Thomases you prefer. Our next engine for the Spot the Difference special, Hank, the American Engine. And here's Hank, the American Engine. Well, 2 versions of Hank, the American Engine, that is. Here's one that we're about to have a look at right now. Well, this Hank, well, his smoke box is this shade of gray. He doesn't usually take batteries in his boiler, but he actually has sort of like this when you lift him up and down. His middle wheel sort of makes a bouncy effect. Sort of a bouncy effect. It's better to take him off. So here's Hank. His smoke box is a different shade of gray. Here's his dome. Well, his dome. There's his whistle, his wheels. Looking in the inside of Hank's cab, there's like that many details. Again, Hank's middle wheel has a bit of a bouncy effect when you lift him up and down. Now for Hank's tender. Oh, there's a bit of a scratch. That's okay. Hank's tender carries the battery. We'll test him on the track in a minute. Usually, when you take the tender cap off, he takes one AA battery to make him run. And then close back up. Oh, his tender wheels are not fully painted. There's the back of his tender. The on and off switch is there so that you might know where it is. So that's this version of Hank so far. And now, to this version of Trackmaster Hank. Oh, well, this Hank, his smoke box is this shade of gray, or in that case, it's black. This part on top of his cowcatcher, well, it is black. To this version of Hank, this part is white. In fact, this part of the running board is white, but this part of the running board is all blue. His domes look the same, red stripes, but no painted whistle. No painted whistle. The on and off switch is located on top of his cab, or in that case, his smoke box. So when you turn him on, he makes this sound. And you unscrew this part here, so that this Hank takes a AA battery to make him work as well. That's sort of similar. Looking in the inside of Hank, ooh, no painted details? Let me see the old version of Hank. It's better to see the inside of Hank's cab. Oh, the cab roof is a different color. Oh, and there's differences on the inside of Hank's cab as well. No handrails, no black details painted. To this version of Hank, in this middle bogey wheel, there's a difference there. Not fully detailed or painted. And now for Hank's tender. This Hank tender. You can't remove this cap because there's no battery in the tender. But the couplings are a little different. Well, I did the detailing touches on Hank's tender wheels. But looking on this tender... Oh, now that I looked it over, the handrails at the back of the tender are not fully painted for this version of Hank. The tender cap is a different color. You can see that. And the tender's a different size. Lining up Hank side by side. Now we see how different these two Hanks are. Well, now that these two Hanks each have AA batteries, let's give them a quick run around the pool table and see how they look. Okay, here are the two Hanks. The old version of Hank is on the Trackmaster Classic track. The new Trackmaster Hank will be running on the redesigned Trackmaster track. Which of these two Hanks is faster and better? There's only one way to find out. On your mark, get set, go! Wow! It looks like the old Hank is getting much more faster and better. And coming around the fourth curve, the old Hank has taken the lead. What to do with the old Trackmaster Hank? I think we'll have to give the old Trackmaster Hank a bit of a winner there. Now that I'm looking at it, they're both a different shade of blue in the light. Do they look a different shade of blue to you? Well, these handrails on the new Trackmaster Hank need to be painted. Well, that's Hank down so far. Only a few more characters to check out and see what the difference is with them. Our next character, after Hank, will be Winston, the railway inspection car. So let's have a look at Winston, shall we? Okay, so here's Winston. Well, 3 Winstons, actually. Let me show you this Winston first. Usually, this used to be a wooden railway Winston, so I tried to make him a custom Tomy or Trackmaster Winston. See, that's the body of the wooden railway Winston. There's a little, Tomy version of Sir Topham Hatt. It used to came with a Tomy Diesel, a Tomy Milk Tanker, a Sodor Fuel Tanker, and, well, it's kind of hard to say. But here's a Tomy version of Sir Topham Hatt riding on a custom Tomy version of Winston. This running board or chases was from one of the Tomy log cars. That's right, log cars. It was rather difficult to do, but I had to make the wooden railway Winston make it look exactly like one of the Tomy log cars. So here's the front coupling to pull him along with the rear coupling behind him. What are your thoughts on this version of Winston that I made? Well, that's one version of Winston. Here's a Thomas & Friends wood version of Winston. I got him out of the plastic packaging. See, that's real wood. Now, this Winston is very different. It can only run on wooden railway track. There's a magnet to hook him up behind whatever engine or rolling stock it'll be. And it came with Sir Topham Hatt that he can ride in Winston, or you can make him stand on his legs, or his feet. Winston, will you be able to give me a ride when Henry pulls us along? No problem, sir. Always happy to help. Always. So, put Sir Topham Hatt back in Winston. Here is the Winston that he came along with the redesigned Trackmaster Henry. You know the engine train pack that I got, Henry and Winston? That's this train right here. So it's a Trackmaster Revolution, or now motorized version of Winston. There's Sir Topham Hatt. That he's not driving Winston. He's just riding in Winston. There are the sharp wheels. Apparently Winston's not fully motorized, so he can only be pulled by Henry with this front coupling in front of him. Have him a good look around. Any paint details that need to be put on Winston? Oh yeah, his headlights. Those right there. Anything you need me to do with Winston, just let me know. So, let's give these 3 Winstons a bit of a run around the pool table. And here's redesigned Trackmaster Henry with the 3 Winstons on the redesigned Trackmaster track. Well, I'm not sure about running the Winstons along with the redesigned Henry on the classic Trackmaster track and the Tomy Playrail Blue track, because He might get caught on the Tommy Blue track or something. So a run on the redesigned Trackmaster track will do. Let's give Henry a run with the 3 Winstons. And here we go! Pretty awkward. Interesting, but awkward, isn't it? Well, anyway, what are your thoughts on these 3 Winstons? Which of these 3 Winstons would you prefer? It's best we save a run on the classic Trackmaster track and a run on the Tommy Blue Playrail track with these 3 Winstons another time. But right now, on to our next character to spot the difference with. And that's Harold the Helicopter. Along with these 2 versions of Thomas and 2 versions of Percy's. Well, let's bring Harold to the center of the pool table first. Okay. Here are the 2 Harold the Helicopters. Along with 2 Thomases, 2 Percys, and 1 Minnie's James. Well, let's have a look at this Harold the Helicopter from the Superstation that I have. Well, Harold had no detailed windows, so I painted them black. I even painted Harold's propellers white in between red. He still spins. But this Harold had this kind of colored hook to pick up things like crates. This other propeller, the mini propeller, was never painted. So, well, this Harold came in the Superstation playset, along with this Trackmaster Thomas, with sparks on his sides and steam effects. The Thomas and Friends Adventures Percy. At least I think that's the Adventures Percy. And a Thomas and Friends Minis James. It also came with this orange freight car. This orange redesigned Trackmaster truck that can carry the cargo. Of course, it can carry the Minis James in it. The other Harold the Helicopter, now, this one came with the Trains and Cranes Super Tower set. I still have the Trains and Cranes Super Tower set. No propellers painted, no windows painted. This one had a different colored hook. It's red. So this Harold is different to the Harold the Helicopter that came in the Superstation playset. This Harold came from the Trains and Cranes Super Tower set, along with this redesigned Trackmaster Thomas, or now motorized Thomas. This Thomas has a little numbers and a couple of letters at the back of his third driving wheel. It also came with the Trackmaster Push-Along Percy and this red truck. Only this red truck has a different rear coupling. Well, I've got a couple of flatbeds to carry these two Harold the Helicopters. Let's give these two Thompsons a bit of a run around the pool table, just to help us see which of these two Harold the Helicopters is more better than the other one. So let's give the two Thompsons a quick run with the two Harold the Helicopters. Okay, this is not really a race between the two Harolds, but we'll just give the two Harold the Helicopters a bit of a run pulled by the two different Thomases. I'm hoping this works, because if Harold falls off the flatbed, I'll have to find some other way for Harold to be carried. So off goes this Thomas from the Superstation playset. Ooh, so far so good. Around the curve. And off goes this Thomas with the other Harold the Helicopter from the Trains and Cranes Super Tower set. Oh! Harold has fallen off! The other Harold! The one from the Trains and Cranes Super Tower set. Oh. Better get Harold back on the brown flatbed. There we go. Well, so far, so good. Oh! Now Harold has fallen off again. The other Harold. Ugh. I think I'll just bring these trains to a stop for now. This is getting rather uncomfortable for the other Harold the Helicopter from the Trains and Cranes Super Tower set. Ah. Okay. Well, what are your thoughts on Harold the Helicopter? One from the Superstation and one from the Trains and Cranes Super Tower set. I don't think I've got that many Harold the Helicopters. Do I? Well, I'll have to pull out how many Harold the Helicopters I have in my Thomas and Friends collection. Probably later. Right now, on to that fifth and final character. And that's Devious Diesel himself. Let's bring Diesel onto the middle of the pool table. The center of the pool table, that is. And here we are. We're here with our final character to spot the difference with. Diesel. Only it's Ghostly Diesel with the troublesome trucks, and Trackmaster Revolution Glowing Diesel. But first off, it's Ghostly Diesel and the troublesome trucks first. There's Ghostly Diesel himself. Ignore that little black scratch on his nose. It looks like Diesel is all covered in flour. From front to back. Here's the original Tommy Diesel. Except ignore his name that I made for him. Diesel is like this Diesel, only they made him a bit shaded of white. sort of. That's a single difference. The troublesome trucks... The troublesome trucks that came with Ghostly Diesel and the troublesome trucks... Well, those troublesome trucks look like they've been covered in flour as well. Almost. Except for the cargo that they're carrying. Just a quick spin around on the troublesome trucks. They're like these kind of normal troublesome trucks. Except they're a bit spray painted in white, but not really. They're covered in flour. I hope you can see that difference clearly. Now, to the cargo. One was carrying rocks. They're much rather different color compared to these rocks. Only they're like tannish gold, goldish tan. What are your thoughts? Now this cargo, it's like green and yellow paint. What do yellow and green paint make again? Well, the paint cargo was much more different to this paint cargo from the Thomas Makes a Mess greatest moment from Calling All Engines. Except it's red, but not green. Red and yellow make orange, but what do yellow and green make? Oh, right, now I get it. Chartreuse. Chartreuse is a yellowish green color. Well, that's Ghostly Diesel and the Troublesome Trucks. Well, this Ghostly Diesel takes a C battery to make him run. Now to Glowing Diesel. Well, Devious Diesel is striking a bit of glow-in-the-dark effectness. He's even got a bit of glowing effect on his wheels. He's got glowing effects on his sides. Look at that. Like striking the stars in the night sky. The on and off switch is different. Here is the original Truckmaster Revolution version of Diesel. His wheels are normally black. He is black all around. And the on and off switch is white, as always. Of course, Glowing Diesel takes 2 AAA batteries to make him work. These cars that came with him, one is a dynamite car. It looks like this one, only they made it glowing, glow-in-the-dark green. And this truck looks like this truck. Same truck, only with different wheels. And it has glowing rocks that can glow in the dark. I'm not sure about those rocks. They look just like these rocks, only they're glowing green as well. Well, there's only one way to find out for sure. We will see which of these 2 diesels will glow in the dark once I turn off the lights. So, you may want to give me a moment while I turn off the lights, and we'll see which of these 2 diesels glow in the dark. Well, I'll see which of these 2 diesels glow in the dark. So, I'll be about a minute or 2. Okay, I've turned off the lights, and I see now that these 2 rocks, the paint barrels, the white barrels, and this glow-in-the-dark dynamite van, they were the only ones that lit up in the dark. The only ones that glow in the dark. It was hard to catch it on camera. Anyway, here's the glowing diesel with the troublesome trucks, and the Trackmaster Revolution glowing diesel, ready to race. I've also got my Tomy diesel, my Trackmaster Revolution diesel, and the Trackmaster Thomas Makes a Mess, one of the greatest moments from Calling All Engines, at the back. They'll help me finish off the Spot the Difference special. So it's off to the races now. On your mark, get set, go! There goes glowing diesel, taking the lead. Oh, better get the other two diesels and Paint Messy Thomas going too. Oh! Trackmaster glowing diesel is off the track. Oh, his front end is off the track. There you go, diesel. Or glowing diesel. And Trackmaster Revolution diesel is catching up. He must be pretty fast. Oh, glowing diesel is about to hit Paint Messy Thomas. Oh. Better get Thomas out of the way. And glowing diesel too. Oops. That wasn't supposed to happen. And coming behind glowing diesel, ghostly diesel with the troublesome trucks is my Tomy diesel. I think he's about to catch up with ghostly diesel. And there's about to be chaos any minute. Oh. Diesel! For crying out loud! Ay. I'll just set these diesels off to the side. Glowing diesel is about to catch up with Trackmaster Paint Spill Thomas. Not for long. There. Got him out of the way at last. I thought a Tomy diesel, a Trackmaster Revolution diesel, and Trackmaster Thomas Makes a Mess would help me finish up the Spot the Difference special, but I guess not. Trackmaster Ghostly Diesel with the troublesome trucks is taking the first curve. The Trackmaster Glowing Diesel, well, he took the lead from the beginning. I'll see if he can catch up with Ghostly Diesel and the troublesome trucks. And looks like he has. So much for playing a ghostly trick. Diesel's ghostly trick. Oh, Devious Diesel's ghostly trick. A parody from Season 2 of Thomas and Friends. Looks like Glowing Diesel is won after all. Wait for Ghostly Diesel and his troublesome trucks to catch up. Well, what are your thoughts on Ghostly Diesel and the Troublesome Trucks and Trackmaster Revolution Glowing Diesel? Well, I think that's about it. That's a Spot the Difference special with Original Thomas, Hank, Winston, Harold the Helicopter, and Diesel. So I hope you enjoyed the Spot the Difference special. So stay tuned for more Trainboy 54 videos of 2023. Oh, before I say thanks for watching, let me see if I have enough Harold the Helicopters in my Tomy and Trackmaster Thomas and Friends collection. Stay tuned. Well, here we are. I have to stand at least this far away from my pool table just to show you all the Harold the Helicopters I have in my Tomy and Trackmaster Thomas and Friends collection. So let's get started. There's a Harold the Helicopter, a Tomy Harold, that came with this Snowy Station. It was from the Tomy Thomas Christmas Adventure set. Oh, it's about a long time ago. This is the Tomy Harold that came with this station, the Tomy Dry-Aw Station. It's a good thing there's a hook to make Harold spin around. I'll show you in another video, maybe. There's Harold with Trackmaster Thomas, Adventures Percy, and Minis James from the Superstation playset. There's the box. There's the Trackmaster Harold that came with the Search and Rescue Center. Harold's Search and Rescue Helipad, I think it was. Here's Harold with the red truck, Push Along Percy, and Trackmaster Thomas from the Trains and Cranes Super Tower set. That's right over there. Let's see. Oh. There's the Harold the Helicopter from the Sky High Bridge Jump set. I think I've still got the whole entire playset to that train set. Yes, Harold still has the painted windows black. No propellers, painted this time. Still got the hook, like the Harold from the Superstation set. There's the Trackmaster Harold that I still have. Well, I pretty much like this Harold the Helicopter. You can still spin his propellers. Here's my Ertl wind-up Harold the Helicopter. You wind him up, and his propellers spin. Quite fun, isn't it? There's the All Engines Go version of Harold that came with the All Engines Go Talking Percy. I'm not going to get that out of the packaging again, because it may still not work for me. There's the Trackmaster Press and Spin Harold. I'll save that for an unboxing and checkout video. And here's the other Superstation that I got as a birthday present to me last year. Let me get a zoom up close. There's the Trackmaster Harold that came with this other Superstation, along with the Trackmaster Thomas, a Push Along Percy this time, and another Minis Engine James. So that's 2 Superstations I have. Not sure what to do with them, but anyway. That's all of the Harold the Helicopters I have. 11 Harold the Helicopters, to be in fact. Now it's my line to say, hope you enjoyed this video, the Spot the Difference special, with Original Thomas, Hank, Harold, Winston, and Diesel. This is Trainboy54 saying stay tuned for more Trainboy54 videos of 2023. And thanks for watching. Take care to you all. Bye. Here comes my Trackmaster Henry with 3 Winstons. Will they be able to run on Tomy Playrail track? Look at that! They actually do work on Tomy Blue Playrail track after all. How good is that? Note to self, never have wooden railway Winston at the front of Henry.
Diesel taking the lead.